Hello, Vlogalogue. So this week, I don't really know what we're talking about per se. I mean, I know what we're talking about, but I don't really know what I want to say on it, because a conversation like this fundamentally becomes, why are people stupid and or reactionary, which isn't an interesting one. At least, I don't think it is, because it's very easy to kind of see a lot of internet subcultures, particularly, so everyone from that subreddit is exactly the same, or everyone from this website is exactly the same. See, like Kevin's example with all people from Tumblr being social justice warriors. So I just kind of want to break it down how I see it in my brain. I think the first kind of people that I see are like media people. Also, before I probably start this video, I'm kind of borrowing from a lot of different, like, if you think like, I've heard that idea before, you probably have. These aren't really any of my own original thoughts. They're mainly from a reading and from a lot of like PBS Idea Channel, CGP Grey, and that kind of stuff. So if you're like, I've heard that idea before, you probably indeed have. So I think the first kind of people that we're talking about when we talk about like this kind of extremism of the internet is people who are really extreme about media, like films, television, whatever, media. You know what media is at this point, I would hope. And I'm not sure who coined this phrase, but there's this idea of the Metacritic culture, where on Metacritic, if you didn't know, like, shit reviews affect the score, and really good reviews affect the score, but the middle ground doesn't really affect the score, because obviously the law of averages dictates that middle scores don't really matter. It's really shit reviews and then a bunch of really good reviews that make a film average. And I think that that's definitely seeped into the way that we kind of view and talk about media online. Like, it's kind of like loving it or hating it, but it's more like just having a strong opinion. There's not like a binary of one or the other. It's more like a, the chart where you can be in... God, my brain! Anyway, so I think that's kind of... to be honest, I think it's fine, because I think that media criticism, you have a finite amount of time and money and effort to use. And if, like, this film isn't amazing, if it's like a 6 out of 10, I'm going to say it's a 3 out of 10, just because I don't want you to go and fucking watch it and waste your time. So I think that, just get excited about media if you want to get excited about a certain piece of media, or, criticize it. I mean, different things are important to different people. And obviously, if people just want to hate on stuff, then they just want to hate on stuff. Like, people hating on Mad Max because they're sexist, I don't give a fuck what you have to say. But if you're just a round-headed person who's just like, I don't really like cars and action scenes, so whatever, bro. But that doesn't get many retweets, so I probably wouldn't tweet that out. And then there's kind of the other side of this thing, which is I'm going to call the political kind of polarism, I suppose is the word, although I don't even know if it is a word, which, I mean, if, actual politics, party politics, actual, like, political power systems are a reflection of the power and politics of society, then it's pretty obvious to see what the fuck the problem is there. Politics, like having so do you want to have a discussion about gun control? No, I fucking don't want to have a discussion about gun control, because you Americans, you just kill yourself all you like. I have stopped giving a fuck at this point, okay? That wasn't politically charged at all. Anyway, so you're having a discussion about gun control. There is no point in telling a horrendously pro-gun person or a horrendously not pro-gun person your point of view if you're the opposite to them, is there? Politics is just a bunch of people standing in a circle going, yeah, that guy's right, yeah, that guy's right. Like, political discourse isn't discourse at all. It's just two big groups of people circle jerking each other until eventually it's essentially just like, hey, you like guns, right? And they're like, yeah. It's not, hey, you guns, right? And they're like, no, convince me that I like guns. It's just a bunch of people agreeing with each other so they can feel good about themselves and, then win elections and blah, 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 whatever. And I think that definitely like discourse about social issues, about political issues, about economic issues has become that. It's not about having a discussion, it's about getting your opinion reinforced and reinforcing the opinions of others who will support you so that you can all have a big circle jerk and then everybody gets covered in everybody else's mess. That was a disgusting metaphor to be using, but I think you get my point. So when you talk about extremism on the internet, all you're really doing is saying, hey, this thing that we've created for instant communication, it's kind of made instant communication kind of obvious to everybody, which I just don't find an interesting conversation. It's like, we've managed to give every human on the planet the ability to instantly communicate with another person on the planet. The fuck would you do that? We talk about shit in real life anyway, why would we want to talk about shit where everybody can see it? Sorry I missed last week. I had a knee issue and I was in bed for like 4 days and I didn't actually know. By the time that I realised it was Tuesday, it was already halfway through Wednesday. But I will see you next week.